Hello, YMCA counselors. My name is Chinook, and this is my YouTube channel.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
This YouTube channel is dedicated to helping you, the counselors. In this video, we're going to be going over a day in the life of a camp counselor. What your day is going to look like, what you may need to know, and everything in between. So stay tuned. Okay, so to start things off, there are 3 shifts that you must know about as a day camp counselor. First shift, pre-care shift. That would be 7:30 in the morning until 4:30 in the afternoon. Second shift is the midday shift. Midday shift runs from 8 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon. And the last shift is post-care. The post-care shift runs from 8:30 in the morning until 5:30 in the afternoon. Now, remember to show up to your shifts a little bit early so you can grab your cell phone, your fanny pack, and whatever else you might need for the day. And also so that you can be in ratio for when the children show up. We give you those shifts for a reason, so show up accordingly. Each of you counselors will be assigned a fanny pack each week, so make sure that you sign up for the fanny pack and you get the right one every day.
The fanny pack is stylish and comfortable. They're all the rage now.
Now, in the fanny packs will be a first aid kit for yourself to use with your group. Make sure that everything is up to date in the fanny pack, and if anything needs replacing, please let any of the managing staff know, and we will replace it as soon as humanly possible. Each group will be assigned a day camp cellular phone. Make sure that your cellular phone that is provided is on at all times, and make sure the ringer is nice and loud so that if one of the staff tries to get a hold of you, they can. Very important. Starting off the day will be the pre-care shift counselors. So if you have the pre-care shift, you're going to be showing up at 7:30 into our designated sign-in area. And kids will be showing up at that time. You must sign them in. So if a certain group doesn't have their counselor there yet, please sign the kid in and don't leave any of the binders unattended. And when the kids do sign in, this is a great opportunity for you to start the camper descriptions, okay? Before your other counselor comes in and they have to do it for you. So make sure you get the camper descriptions as they come in. It makes it a lot easier for the rest of us.
Any questions?
I got one question for you. What are those?
Okay, so camper description forms are to be filled out at the start of each day. They will inform us about defining characteristics of the child so that if they get lost, we can find them. Also, all of the clothes that they will be wearing that day. So make sure to write it all down. Shoes, socks, shirts, jackets, everything you possibly can get. The more the better. Next is my favorite part of the morning. That's right, it's morning campfire.
And so I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed just to get it all out what's in my head. And I
So make sure that you have all of the songs ready and planned for that day, alright? That means talk to the counselors, tell them what songs you're going to do, and make sure that they know what they're singing. And if you can, always have a leader for each song to make sure that the song is led properly. Now's the time to start your day, and that means organize your groups and make sure that the children know what counselor that they're going to be with for the whole week, or at least for the time being. Now that you have your groups in order, I personally start off my week with an icebreaker. Now, an icebreaker usually involves a name game, something where you kind of share something about yourself, perhaps, so that you can open up, get to know other people, and also at the same time breaking the ice. Again, this is a great opportunity to learn all of your children's name in one sitting, okay? Very, very useful. I suggest you do it. Games would be something like Two Truths and a Lie, or the name game, where you go around the circle and have everybody repeat the previous person's name, and until you get to the last person and they have to say everybody's name. Okay, it's a perfect one for getting to know everybody's name, and I personally love to do that just to get to know my kids. Okay, so let's talk about low energy games. Low energy games are not meant to be physically stimulating, okay? They're low energy for a reason, because you can sit down and play them in a very calm manner. It's a nice way to relax, but while you challenge your mind with a mentally stimulating game. So something like this would be something like Splat, or I'm going on a picnic, or even Flinch. And of course, we can't forget about the high energy games. So high energy games are absolutely meant to expend energy, okay? They're very high energy, and it's perfect for very large groups. It's also perfect when you combine your groups together and you get one really big group, because you're going to be playing it outdoors in a field most likely, and so there's not often a limit to how many kids can play these games. So something like soccer is a good one. I like four-corner soccer personally. There's kickball, capture the flag. I mean, just think up one of these games, and it's a great tool for tiring your kids out if you need to, wind down at the end of the day.
Buddy, you're doing fine. I won't let you blow this. What kind of place is this?
Okay, let's talk snacks and lunch. So just remember in your program plans to place these strategically, just so that you guys can have a time to chill out, relax, unwind. Kids are going to be all over the place, and sometimes they just need to come sit down, have a snack to get their energy back, and then start playing again. So always have a snack in the morning, or at least give them the opportunity to have a snack in the morning. Have lunch around noon, but again, it's highly flexible. It's up to you guys. You can even let the kids decide. And also have a snack at the end of the day. The only criteria that you actually need to meet is just give them at least 3 opportunities in the day to eat their food that they have.
Okay, stay frosty, soldiers. We're in hostile territory. The enemy always strikes when you least expect it.
I don't like this, man. Something doesn't feel right.
Just remember your training and stay calm. We'll be fine as long as the captain is with us.
And also, don't let them eat it all at once, especially if they're young, because then I'm hungry at the end of the day, and I want my food, and I want to call my mom because I want to. Just remember, the kids can't buy food on their own, so the lunch that they have with them is all the lunch that they get for the whole day, so make sure that they're eating appropriately. Also, if they're not eating, and especially if they're, not feeling too well or something like that, try to encourage them to eat. Again, eating will replenish their energy. Perhaps they'll feel better afterwards. For the climbing wall, when you enter the climbing wall, sit your kids down in front of the climbing instructor and calm them down a little bit so that the climbing instructor can get their attention really easily. Remember, the climbing instructor doesn't just take over your job when climbing starts. Sorry, it doesn't work like that. You're still responsible for your kids. Talk to your coordinator to know if your climbing instructor can serve as ratio for your children. I know that not all the time, sometimes the climbing instructor won't be able to do that, and other times they will. So just ask your management and they will let you know. Always be engaged with your children on the climbing wall, and what that means is you're always belaying children so that the maximum number of kids can climb during your climb time. Engage with the kids who aren't on the wall if you're not belaying at that moment. Maybe play a quiet game with them, talk to them about their weekends, something like that. And if you're in one of the older groups and a lot of them aren't climbing, you happen not to be belaying or doing anything for that matter, I would suggest that you encourage them to climb by climbing yourself even. Asking them to compete with you. They love that. They love competing, climbing up the wall with the counselors. So I would advise you to do that if you're in one of the older groups. Next, in the day of a life of a counselor, we have, yes, crafts. Okay? Now, there will be craft supplies and craft ideas ready for you to use every week. Please do 1 to 2 minor crafts every week. That means painting, coloring, chalk, something creative where the kids can let their creative side out.
Now you must acquire a taste for freeform jazz.
And also, please do 1 major craft every week. Now, what a major craft would be is something like bead crafts, or puppets, or clay, something that they can take home to their parents, and then their parents can keep in my swimming pool. Some days are hot, some days are cold. In my swimming pool, you guessed it, it's swim time. Okay, so groups will be assigned swim times in your daily schedules, so make sure you take a look at that and show up to the change rooms a little bit early so that you can change your children accordingly and make it to the pool deck on time. Tender feet can take somewhere around 45 to 30 minutes, while the older groups will take anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. It all depends on the group that you have, so make sure that you show up accordingly. And also remember that the tenderfeet boys are allowed to go into the girls' room to change. A great way to get your kids dressed on time, what I do is I take out my cell phone and I start a timer, And I tell the kids, let's see who can get dressed the fastest. And they'll make it a competition, and they will go hard at it. And they will see who is the first one to get out on that pool deck. So, perfect way for changing your kids. Make it a competition. Make sure that you are in the pool that your kids are in. So, if your kids are in the deep pool, and you're in the kiddie pool, please get out of the kiddie pool. Go to the deep pool where your kids are. Make sure that if there happen to be kids in a certain pool that there's not a counselor in, send a counselor over there. Take turns with your fellow counselors swimming in each of the pools to make sure that both pools are attended if your kids happen to be in both. Shh. It's library time. Okay, so in the library, with the younger groups, please have the option of story time. Okay, story time, just when you read aloud a storybook to the kids. Again, a lot of those younger groups, they're just learning to read. A lot of them don't know how to read, so reading them a story is essential for them to really doing anything in the library. So make sure that they have the option of story time. So there's tons more of activities that we're going to be doing throughout the summer, but that's all that we have time for this video. So end off your day with an evening campfire. I sing about 3 to 4 songs per campfire is a good number, just so that they're having fun, you're singing enough songs and you don't lose them near the end. And finally, a sign out. So the management staff will be handing you little child tags. Those child tags will be handed to the parents when they sign out their children, so that we can make sure that they are taking home their own children and nothing more, nothing less. And self-signers can sign out at 4:30. They can sign themselves out. They can leave. Bye-bye. That's all. Self-signers need permission from their parents, and they need to be of 8 years of age or older. And finally, at the end of the day, when everybody signs out and everybody's left, please refer to the cleaning schedule so that you can clean the designated areas that you've been assigned. Alright, that's all for this video. See you next time. Peace out.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it.